haven't wanted to do this. I've put this off for such a long time. And I'm very fucking nervous doing it. Knowing damn well that I'm asking for it. You know. Just, I'm getting off the point here, man. That's me. You know, talk around a problem. Pretend it doesn't happen. Hide it from the audience. Hide it from, everyone. As you know, 2 months ago, or as you don't know because I keep shit secret. 2 months ago. Damn, I haven't said these words. Shit. Two months ago, we had a death. By we, I mean my family. We had a death, from COVID-19. Yeah, man. Yeah. My grandma's husband. They were married 14 years, and, I was in high school when they got married. 9th grade. And, yeah. So, August 14th is the day I walked in on his dead body. And even as I describe it now, the image hasn't left my head. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. Now, it's a good thing I've waited this long to do this and procrastinated so long because, the night it happened, I wanted nothing but peace and relief because it was so intense and jarring to have seen that shit. So I didn't do shit. I didn't make nothing. So I held back from doing it. I was avoiding it. Because I knew the minute I sat in front of it to update the channel that it wasn't going to go well. Can't even fucking look at you guys. I don't even need the mask on. I'm just doing it because I'm conscious of my face. So yeah, I found his body. It was confirmed. COVID-19 from the coroner, you know. Couldn't have a funeral because of COVID-19. How bad it is in Florida, mind you. And, you know, so cremation, it destroyed my grandma, I'll tell you that. She was positive too, and I am so... I'm so thankful that she pulled through. As someone in their 60s, upper 60s with diabetes, I'm relieved that she's fine. But it was such a nightmare when he displayed symptoms and then she displayed symptoms. And I was starting to freak out. I was like, man, yo, it's too hot in Florida for a cold season. Mind you, this was summer. I came back from New York. Flew my ass out of that goddamn shelter in June. And, and it was summer. I quarantined at a Motel 6, which was an awful experience. They weren't wearing masks and shit. Room service wasn't wearing a mask. Nobody wears a goddamn mask in Florida because they're morons. Run by a stupid ass governor. Anyways, so I quarantined 14 days, did all the right shit. I wasn't positive or anything like that. I did it right. I was fine. Came back home, and yeah, everything was fine. My worst fears. I'm an anxious person. Maybe this is coming all at once if you've been a subscriber for a long time, because I keep shit so fucking hidden. I've been through so much fucking garbage from the day I was born to present, and I keep it hidden because I developed this persona for my channel that tries to pretend that real life isn't, anyways, I come home, right, and everything is fine. It's a dream. I have a lot of PTSD from the shelter. That doesn't go away. But generally, it was such a relief, and is such a relief to be back home and accept it and loved. No longer a shelter environment. But that's a separate video. That's a separate issue. We're talking about COVID and how this led up to this moment. Fine, right? So I quarantined. I've stayed inside the house from day fucking one of this shit. The last thing I ever did was in March at a nightclub in New York City, in the city, Manhattan, at a language exchange, Wonderful night. Fantastic club. Very memorable night. Some girl was visiting from Tokyo. And it was nice. To say the least. To really sum it up. That was the last thing I did back in March, before coronavirus really hit New York City and became a thing, right? The minute that shit hit, the minute we had our first positive case, I locked myself down against everybody else's wishes, requests, and not listening. I have been locked down ever since the beginning of this thing. I have not gone anywhere. I have not gone any fucking where. I have not gone anywhere to the point of causing conflict among those who want to go somewhere with me. From the fucking beginning, I said, I'm not doing shit. I'm not doing shit. Not till a vaccine. I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing shit. And I have not done shit. And I do not do shit. Because it's not worth it. And if anybody misses partying or anything, it's me. It's me. Because that was my life. That was all I made money for, was to have experiences. Because I didn't have experiences back when I was 1 through fucking 18. Because of how my life was. in the fucking closet. So I didn't have any goddamn experiences. And so if anybody would miss going out, it would be me. And I can stay in. Right? And I have, and that's fine. So point is, I haven't done shit. The only stuff I would do was go out with grandma on essential shopping trips. Get groceries. Pick up food for takeout. You know, that's it. That's it. And we would always mask, face shields right there. Face shield on. Yeah, I was wearing this one because we had people coming to work on the carpet. New carpet in the house. But yeah. Face shield, mask, sanitizer, 6 feet apart, no face touching. Did the whole thing. And I would always check on her too. I would always double check for her. I would always double check to the point where she would get annoyed. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing it, you know. So we were doing everything right. Now, her husband wasn't quite the same way. One of those people very lax about mask wearing, you know, like still going out, still going back and forth, still cutting grass, everything. No mask on, interactions. One of the last people I saw him talk to was a guy he had hired to detail his car, also no mask on. Both no mask, face-to-face talking. Less than 6 feet apart, right? And that was the last thing I saw him do. Point is, he didn't wear a mask. He was lax about this shit. Back and forth, lax. And I always said that. I always said to her, I was like, I never see him in a mask. I never see him, like, in a mask or doing the same thing. And, you know, like, hey, men are going to do what they do on their own. We're all, like my therapist tells me, and my grandma tells me, and everybody, it's like, you worry about other people too much. They do what they do, we can't control them. They don't want to wear a mask and stuff, that's on them. Correct. Anyways, so he, in early August, shows symptoms, coughing. Me, being the paranoid, anxious person I am, I start panicking. Well, not panicking, but I'm like, I don't know if that's just a cough. He should get tested, blah, blah, blah. And she reassured me, no, it's just a cold. He has a cold. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's too hot for colds right now in Florida. In the 90-plus degree weather, this is not cold season. I've lived in Florida for like 20 years. I mean, I've lived between Florida and New York. But Florida's my hometown, really. I was born in New York, raised in Florida. Went through high school, you know, elementary, middle, high school, Florida. So, for all intents and purposes, I am a Floridian who was born in New York. Anyways, point is, I know when cold season is. And it's not Florida in the heat. So I started freaking out because of how bad Florida is with cases. Because mind you, when I came from hotel, just my luck, because when I came out of the shelter back to Florida, is just as the cases went from like 1,000 to, you know, beginning the spike. Not this disaster we have now, but who were beginning the spike when I came back from New York. And anyways, he begins exhibiting symptoms, and like I told you, I was kind of panicking. And then, you know, because for me it was all about not getting my grandmother sick. She is in a, you know, what is it called? Immunocompromised. Every time I had a friend invited me out somewhere, be it in New York or here, that's the first thing I said. My grandma's immunocompromised. I do not want to risk passing the sun. Sometimes they make fun of me. Sometimes they say this or that. Or they just flat out stop talking to me. But whatever, fuck it. Who gives a shit? Anyways, you know, so yeah, he exhibits symptoms. I freak out. I suspect it's not a cold. Lo and behold, she catches the cold symptoms too. I had some light cold symptoms myself. And I began to wonder this. I'm afraid this isn't a cold. And lo and behold, he declines. She declines fast to the point where she goes to the hospital because of how bad that cold became very quickly. We're talking cold symptoms on day 1, day 2. By day 3, hospital, weak, hardly speak. And I was fucking devastated when she called me and said I tested positive. Devastated. I just did nothing but cry all day and all night, panicking. I could not listen to K-pop because we bond over K-pop because I'm like, I'm her weird granddaughter who likes a lot of stuff that's not typical of my demographic per se, and she knows that, how she raised me. And so we bonded over me liking Taeyeon and BTS, and Blackpink, and Taeyeon, and so it would make me cry to listen to anything that we bonded through. And it was rough for me. Dude, I would slip into anyways, so she was in the hospital. We were keeping in check. Tomorrow was so scary at that time. Tomorrow was so scary. Every day I was scared because I have seen so many stories of coronavirus and how people die in the hospital so quickly and shit. And her being 68, 69, with diabetes, I feared the worst. So I was, I was freaking out, man. And and then all the while, mind you, David is still home. Sorry. Her husband is still home. And, his symptoms also declined, obviously, but being me and him never had a relationship that was close. We didn't get along, especially after I came out. We didn't get along. So, he would always lock himself in the room here, and never interact with me or nothing like that. And that hadn't changed, anyways, so, we kept up, we family back and forth updates and the updates of grandma's condition in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And, one day, she calls me to, the family calls me, period, to, say, like, hey, he's not answering his phone, grandma's husband. He's not answering his phone. And I say, that's weird. It was just a routine day. It was a routine day at that point. I was playing Persona 4 Dancing because I've just beaten Persona 4 Golden. And I was playing Persona 4 Dancing in the living room because I was feeling better because at this point, grandma's condition had greatly improved in the hospital, which was great. I credit that to the fact that she works in healthcare and has always worn a mask and 3 layers of mask and, so she, we reduced her viral load and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, whatever happened, I'm thankful she recovered and pulled through. But, so her condition had improved enough in the hospital to where she was going to be released the next day. I was playing Persona 4 Dancing in the living room. And I was called. Because they were like, hey, we haven't heard from him. He's not answering any of his phones. I was like, that's weird. Routine day, we were venting a little bit about it. Yeah, because this has been typical behavior from him when he was alive. Venting about it. That's him, And, it's funny. It's morbid. We sometimes say things on the phone, right? Or we joke like this all the time. I mean, us as human beings, me and you, all of us, we say shit like, man, he could be in that room dead, and we wouldn't even know it. Well, lo and behold, he was in that room dead. And, so anyways, the whole, he's not answering his phone shit escalates into, missing person report. Cause, he had his side of the family, checking in on him too, and I know there was talks of him going to the hospital, but he was stubborn about it. He was stubborn, which is such a common thing among men, and I don't know why. He was stubborn about not wanting to go to the hospital. And I don't get it. I don't. But he was gonna finally go, or so he said he was gonna go to his wife. I guess I haven't seen no fucking no, man. It was a blur for me. Persona 4 dancing. Anyways, lo and behold, the police come because we, mind you, again, we don't interact. It's hard to sum up my abnormal family life. But me and him have never, in spite of living in the same house for so many years, me and him have never quite seen eye to eye on an interaction level. You feel me? And and so so there was an assumption that he had gone to the hospital, and that his sister or someone had taken him or something to the hospital, and I just didn't know it because of how he locked himself in the room and how I was, back here, and so when my grandmother contacted the rest of the people who would have some interaction with David in that regard, and they said he wasn't there, that's when a missing persons report was filed. Police came, searched the house, blah, blah, blah. And, earlier that day, they told me to knock on the door and check. Before the cops came, before this whole, missing persons report thing, right? And, immediately I was hesitant because he's never quite liked me. And, but I knocked anyways, it's like, this is different here, I knocked. Social distance knocking with the broom from afar. No answer. And then I creaked the door open a tiny bit. Just you not quite all the way in with your head. But you creak the door open a tiny bit and you peek in, right? I didn't see anyone. I was like, oh, he's not in here. And that's what, enticed me to respond to the phone call. Like, oh, I guess he left or something. I don't see him. I didn't see him. So I went back to playing Persona 4. I think I was eating pizza or some shit. I don't. Anyways, cops come, we look. They say, oh, we don't see him. And they ask me to come and check the room again. And this time I actually, instead of just peeking in, I walked all the way in. And that's when I saw his body on the floor. But not on the floor. He was on his knees against the bed. Just, oh God, what an image. God, it's so bad. That's when I saw it. And I was like, oh God, I found him. Oh God, I found him, is what I said. Then the cops said, leave the house now, you need to get out now, or whatever. And, they, the whole circus happened, well, hopefully you don't know, maybe you do know, and relate to what I'm saying, who knows, but, if you don't know, fire department, ambulance with the defibrillator, come in there, leave, no result, and here's the thing, I'm no freaking doctor, obviously not, but there should be no but after saying I'm not a doctor. But what I was trying to say is, I had heard enough or seen enough from reading and shit and secondhand reports to know that if somebody is unconscious for 60 seconds, it's bad for the brain already or something like that. And perhaps I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've seen or heard multiple times that if you're unconscious or out or whatever for and not breathing or whatever for more than a minute, it begins to be brain damage. And so when I saw his dead body laying there, and at the time I didn't know it was quite, when I saw his body against that bed, I said to myself, oh gosh, even if he's just unconscious, he's been there an hour at least. So I said, this is, and so I knew something was going to be bad. I just didn't expect the magnitude of it to be them telling me he's passed away. He's dead. So, but yeah, which is such a bad image. My therapist told me it's not going to get on my head. She said it's normal. She said she'd be concerned if I didn't keep seeing it in my head. And of course I'm going to see it in my head talking about it too. Um, but yeah, I was playing Persona 4 dancing and found the body, and the whole circus happened. The defibrillator came, and then I had the unfortunate news of having to call my grandma to tell her husband has died. And the way she screamed and cried on the phone is a sound I don't like to recall. And so his whole family came. Haven't seen some of these people since I was in high school or since I was a teen. And I had to do it over and over and over again. He's dead. Sorry, he's dead. He died. Mind you, I'm in fucking shock and grief because I just saw the fucking dead body and lived with the guy for 14 something years in the same house. And I'm like, I had to go. I don't fucking know how I did it, man. I don't know how I did all this, answering the phone calls, telling people over and over again what happens, and it's just, oh God. So we had to wait out there hours. We couldn't go back in the house because of COVID-19 and him being dead, and we couldn't go back in until his body was out. And so everybody had to come. We had to wait hours and hours and hours, and until eventually they finally brought the body out. I turned myself around. I didn't want to see the body bag. But they did that shit, That was that. And then, sadly, even worse yet, Grandma had to come home. My sister had to come, right? To help me out. It's been a while since we've seen each other, but that was good. Sister's awesome. Knowing I needed all the help I could get. And so my grandmother came in that house. Ooh, I hear it now in my head. Screaming and crying. Where are you? Where are you? Her husband's name over and over again. Just the hardest I've ever heard her scream. Lives in my nightmares. Hardest I've ever heard her scream. That was not a good moment. Caught my sister off guard too. I've never seen her look like that since we were kids. My sister. God, I hate it. So I spend the next, me and her, all we got left. And so I spent all this, I went right into taking care of her. Obviously. Helping her quarantine and isolate and giving her what she needs, food, water, whatever. And anything just takes time. With grief and with sickness. Some of the worst days of my life. And it's not even that far back. We're talking August, September. So, late August, early September. So I help her out. And over time, she recovers. That's good. She recovers. Her voice improves. Her condition improves. Her mood improves. And, here we are now. And she's fully recovered. She tested negative on her second, test, and that's just great. And we've now more or less adjusted to things, having the house be emptier, and we've adjusted by now. We've kind of, and we remember all of him too, as in he honestly wasn't quite the nicest person. A lot of cursing, a lot of stuff I won't get into in this video. But yeah, we're doing we're in a much better place now, more or less. But it's only been 2 months, not even. He died August 14th, so 2 months would be October 14th. But so yeah, man. Just gonna say, so naturally, I 100% lost and stopped any motive to produce any content. And I said to myself, YouTube doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. Right now what matters is my family and taking care of them. And even once she got better, I still didn't quite have it in my mood and motive to get back to making anything. And so I haven't wanted to. I've been through a stressful time period. Even before his death, I had been through that shelter system for a year. Fucking Marsh's house hellhole. With enough trauma to last me a lifetime. I haven't been the same since. And, so I just haven't, even before his death, all I wanted to do is relax. No YouTube, no nothing. YouTube is stressful. YouTube is full of hate. YouTube is full of, like, so much abuse. And, like, I just didn't want to give it to myself. I didn't want to. I didn't need to have the comments again about my appearance. I didn't need to have the complaints. You know, I didn't need any of it. So I said, no YouTube, not anymore. And then I certainly said not anymore once he died. And I haven't. And I've tried to make new things. And it's just, I'm not in it. And so yeah, that's where I've been. So let's run down this timeline. It took him 5 days from his first symptoms to drop dead. And it was confirmed COVID-19 death by the coroner and shit. It took him 5 days from his symptoms to drop dead. 5 fucking days. 5 days from cold symptoms to die. And yet, he never wore a mask unless he needed to for work. And of course, what do you see in Florida? An idiot governor who has Disney and shit fucking open. Someone who's lifted the restrictions, and a million motherfucking people who don't follow this shit. You can wear a fucking mask. You can put it over your fucking face. You can do this shit. It's a goddamn piece of fucking fabric. Yet we have to live in a place that has somehow politicized this fucking virus and is fucking stupid. And beyond that, I have to have fucking friends and shit who still want to fucking party and tag themselves at bars and travel and fly and this and fucking that. And it's so fucking annoying seeing this. I feel like I'm going fucking crazy. I literally see a fucking dead body from COVID-19. And this is what people fucking do around me, even people I fucking know. And I can't fucking stand it. Because it's not hard to put on a fucking mask and just fucking listen. Because I guarantee you, obviously this thing doesn't spawn out of fucking nowhere. He caught it from someone, gave it to someone else. I mean, the person who found his body, the people who came to pick up his body tested positive too. You know, like, it spreads from people not wearing masks and shit. And not taking it seriously. And I'm seeing such an extent of not taking it seriously that it pisses me the fuck off. It was to the point, it is to the fucking point, where I had so many fucking people on my friend list and shit still going out. Bars, cruises, theme parks, whatever the fuck. So, you know, it got to the point where, like I said, I'm not speaking to any fucking body who I've seen do that shit, and they weren't speaking to, yeah. Like, I've literally had people, before he died, tag me in fucking bars. Why the fuck open? Guess what, with 90 fucking people? Why the fuck would you have a goddamn bar open at this fucking time? Why are you crowding Orlando? Why is Florida so fucking stupid? Why is this whole goddamn country so fucking stupid? Why is it so hard to take a goddamn virus so fucking seriously? The fucking thing is goddamn real and it's fucking happening. Not hard. Your excuses are invalid. Asthma this, asthma fucking that, asthma my fucking ass. If I can wear a fucking mask and face shield and every fucking thing in the goddamn world and dance and sing a fucking K-pop song, you can put a fucking mask on in Bad Bath and Beyond, this fucking stupid fucking country. Stupid fucking state, stupid fucking people. Probably gonna get demonetized. Fuck it. Who gives a fucking shit? What is anything worth more when I fucking die anyways, right? Life is short, isn't it? I shouldn't have said that. Life is short, that's the point. You live it. You live it. You give less of a fuck and you live it. So yeah, man. I guess I've gotten everything out. Too long, didn't read. Skipped through the video. Whatever. I'm not editing this shit. I don't... Why edit it? Why give this a fucking vlog presentation? This is some fucking vlog. Fuck editing. Just touched my face, violation. No, I'm in the house, obviously. Like, I'm not. Like, but yeah, man. Too long, didn't read. TLDR. TL, whatever the fuck, ampersand, whatever the fuck. TLDR. Wear a fucking mask. Wear a mask. Social distance. You can get a face shield on Amazon. Mask. My grandma got these from work, but you know, I've gotten some from, you know, you can search online. I was wearing a KF94 when I was helping her. And I didn't catch it, you know. Or perhaps I haven't. Like, point is, she's negative now, and that's great, and I never contracted anything. So clearly I protected myself well. So, wear a fucking mask. Don't go out. No bars and shit. Go out for essential shit. Go out for whatever. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You have control. I'm just saying, man. I don't need to see another... Nobody has to go through what, nobody should go through what I went through, my grandma went through. So, you know... Stay away from crowds. Social distance, 6 feet apart. Sanitizer. Mask plus face shield. Sanitize your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't do dumb shit like eat in restaurants and crowd bars and shit like that. Essentials only delivery when you can. Carry out. Don't be stupid. Don't add to this death toll, because I've seen it firsthand. Don't add to it. That's it. I've got no content updates for you. This wasn't about content. This was just telling you why I've been gone. I felt the need to do it because I can't seem to move past whatever is holding me back from working on the shit. And I feel like this was pretty much it. So I'll see how I feel after uploading this. But I've got no content updates for you. I have stuff planned, but you know me. I'm bad at getting shit finished. I have commissions fucking backed up for a year. And I'm so fucking... I'm surprised I haven't had people freaking quit on me and yell at me and curse at me. No. There's one guy who commissioned the animation of Marion with the ants in her pants, you know, the red velvet, you know. Yeah. Korean for a year. Yeah, he commissioned a sequel of Deville with Ants in Her Pants. And I have, well, with worms in her pants, sorry. Well, worms in her underwear to be specific. And that was a year ago. And what happened to me, I became homeless and shit. I haven't worked on it. And, just life stacks up and up and up and up. And I said at one point after David died, because if life has been a shit sandwich upon a pile of shit. And I said at one point, I was like, man, between all the shit I've been through in this one fucking year, maybe my atoms will be worth a damn next time. You know, because that's, you know, I don't believe in, I'm an atheist, you know. Obviously, there's no reincarnation and shit like that. We don't have memories from our past life or anything like that. And, you know, but, I do know though, we know, science knows, and battery's gonna die. Point is, I'm rambling. I was gonna say, like, our atoms are always around and we always break down and reconfigure into something new over time. But, yeah, I've been through a lot, and I'm just saying, guys, wear your mask. Take this seriously. I hope I've updated you on what's happened. That's it. Go ahead. Dislike the video, hate it. Call me ugly. All the other shit you say in the comments. I don't give a fuck. People resign.